Welcome and thank you for being here. You're about to begin a powerful journey into mastering your inner world and learning how to stay calm no matter what life throws at you. This is How to Stay Calm and Never Get Bothered, audiobook, written and published by Reframe Audiobooks. In a world filled with constant noise, pressure, and unexpected challenges, calmness is one of the greatest strengths you can develop. This audiobook is designed to help you step into a place of unshakable composure, emotional control, and clarity, so that no matter who tries to provoke you or what situation you face, you remain centered and in control. Throughout these chapters, we will dive deep into the principles of emotional mastery, thought control, resilience, and self-discipline. You'll discover practical tools and mindset shifts that will help you stay unbothered by negativity and focused on what truly matters. So get ready to train your mind, strengthen your calm, and unlock the freedom that comes from never being controlled by anger or irritation again. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Foundation of Calm. Understanding emotional control. Calmness isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. Just like discipline, strength, or focus, calm is a skill that can be trained and mastered. The people who seem unshakable in the face of pressure aren't immune to anger or irritation. They've simply learned how to master their inner world before the outside world can master them. The very first step to staying calm and never getting bothered lies in understanding emotional control. Every emotion you experience, whether joy, anger, frustration, or peace, begins in your mind. It's your perception of events, not the events themselves, that determine how you feel. When you realize this truth, you gain an incredible power, the power to choose your response. Why you react the way you do. Think about the last time you got angry. Was it because of what someone said, or was it because of the meaning you gave to their words? If someone cuts you off in traffic, you could tell yourself, "This person disrespected me," and feel furious. Or you could tell yourself, "Maybe they're rushing to the hospital," and feel neutral or even compassionate. The event didn't change, your interpretation did. This is the essence of emotional control, shifting from automatic reaction to intentional response. You cannot always control what people do or say, but you can always control the story you attach to it. The mind-emotion connection. Your mind is like a lens. If it's clean, you see clearly. If it's dirty with stress, insecurity, or negative thought patterns, everything appears distorted. Emotional control starts with awareness. If you don't notice the thoughts racing through your mind, they will drag your emotions wherever they want. Calmness requires that you step back from your thoughts and see them for what they are. Just thoughts, not facts, not destiny, just mental events. When you realize this, you break the chain between thought and reaction. The power of the pause. The calmest people in the world aren't calm because life is easy for them. They're calm because they've trained themselves to pause before reacting. That pause, even if it's just 2 seconds, is where your power lives. In that space, you can decide, do I react with anger? Do I let this bother me? Or do I stay centered and respond with clarity? Practicing this pause is like building a muscle. At first, you'll catch yourself reacting automatically, only realizing afterward that you lost your calm. That's okay. Awareness itself is progress. The more you notice, the more you strengthen your ability to insert that pause and respond with intention. Calm as strength, not weakness. Many people wrongly believe that staying calm makes you weak, passive, or indifferent. In reality, it's the opposite. Anyone can explode with anger. Anyone can get flustered and lose control. That requires no strength. But to remain calm while the world is trying to pull you into chaos, that is true strength. Calmness is not surrender. It's power. It means you are no longer controlled by other people's behavior or by circumstances outside your control. You choose your state, you choose your emotions, and you choose how you live. Practical steps to begin mastering calm. Now let's get practical. Here are powerful steps you can start applying right away to build the foundation of calm. Awareness practice. Throughout the day, stop and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now, and why? Naming your emotion creates distance between you and the feeling, allowing you to regain control. Breathe before reacting. The fastest way to calm your mind is through your breath. When you feel triggered, take a slow breath in, Hold it for 3 seconds, then release it slowly. Do this 3 times. You'll feel an instant shift. Change the story. Remember, it's not the event but your interpretation that triggers emotion. The next time someone upsets you, rewrite the story in a way that doesn't cost your peace. Detach from control. You cannot control others, only yourself. The more you try to control things outside your power, the more frustrated you become. Calmness grows when you release what isn't yours to manage. Daily reflection. Each night, reflect on your day. Ask, where did I lose my calm? What triggered me? How could I have responded differently? This daily awareness compounds into mastery. Training for the long term. Building calm is not about perfection. You will still feel frustration, irritation, and even anger at times. The difference is that now you won't be owned by those emotions. You'll notice them, breathe through them, and choose your response. Think of it like training in the gym. The first time you try to lift a heavy weight, it feels impossible, but with consistency, your strength grows. Emotional control works the same way. Each time you practice pausing, breathing, and reframing, you strengthen the muscle of calm. Why calm changes everything. Imagine living a life where no insult, no argument, no sudden challenge could throw you off balance. Imagine being the person who others look to in times of crisis. Because they know you won't panic, you'll stay calm, clear, and strong. That's the power you are beginning to build, and the more you strengthen it, the freer you become. Free from being controlled by negativity, free from reacting to every little thing, and free to focus your energy on building the life you truly want. Calmness isn't just about peace of mind, it's about clarity, freedom, and power. And it all begins with this choice, to never let anyone else control how you feel again. Chapter 2. Reframing negative thoughts and building calm mental patterns. If Chapter 1 taught you the foundation of emotional control, then this chapter is about reshaping the very patterns of thought that create calm or destroy it. Your mind is not neutral. Every thought you repeat forms grooves in your brain, strengthening certain mental pathways. If your thoughts are mostly negative, critical, or fear-driven, then your default pattern will be agitation, stress, and frustration. But if you learn to reframe your thoughts, you can build new patterns of calm, clarity, and confidence. The nature of negative thoughts. Negative thoughts are not just random intrusions. They are often habits formed over years of conditioning. Maybe you were raised around people who complained constantly. Maybe you've experienced failures that left you doubting yourself. Maybe you've consumed media that reinforced fear and stress. Whatever the cause, negative thinking is a loop. And once you're caught in it, it feels automatic. The first truth to understand is this: you are not your thoughts. Just because a thought arises in your mind does not mean it defines you, and it does not mean it's true. The mind produces thousands of thoughts a day, most of them repetitive, most of them unhelpful. Calmness begins when you stop identifying with every thought and start choosing which ones to entertain. Reframing. The art of shifting perspective. Reframing is the practice of consciously choosing a different perspective for a situation. It doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It means taking the same event and assigning it a meaning that supports your calm rather than destroys it. For example, instead of thinking, "They disrespected me," reframe it to, "Their behavior says more about them than about me." Instead of thinking, "I can't handle this," reframe it to, "This is a chance to prove my strength." Instead of thinking, "Everything is going wrong," reframe it to, "This is teaching me to stay composed under pressure." The event doesn't change, but by shifting the meaning, you shift your emotional response. This is the essence of calm, taking control of your interpretation. The role of patterns. Every time you reframe a thought, you are building a new pattern. The brain is plastic. It changes based on repetition. If you constantly feed your mind with anxious, negative interpretations, your brain wires itself to default to anxiety. But if you repeatedly reframe toward calm, gratitude, or resilience, you train your brain to see the world differently. At first, reframing may feel forced or artificial. That's normal. Think of it like learning a new language. At first, It takes effort to translate each word, but eventually with enough practice, it becomes automatic. Reframing is the language of calm, and with time, it becomes your natural way of thinking. Practical reframing techniques. Here are powerful, actionable strategies you can use to reframe negative thoughts and build calm mental patterns. Catch and challenge. When a negative thought arises, ask yourself, is this absolutely true? What evidence do I have? Often negative thoughts collapse when you expose them to logic. Replace. Don't just remove. The mind hates a vacuum. If you simply try to stop a negative thought, it will return stronger. Instead, replace it with a calmer, more empowering one. Use questions, not statements. Instead of saying, "This is a disaster," ask, "What can I learn from this?" Questions open the door to calm, while rigid statements lock you in negativity. Zoom out. Imagine looking at the situation from a distance. Will this matter in 1 year, 5 years? Most of what bothers us loses its weight when we take the long view. Building calm mental habits. Reframing is powerful, but to make it stick, you need daily habits that strengthen calm mental patterns. Here are practices to integrate into your routine. Morning mindset reset. Start your day by choosing your perspective. Before checking your phone or diving into tasks, take 2 minutes to breathe deeply and set the intention. Today, I choose calm no matter what. Ask, how could I have reframed that situation differently? Journaling. Write down recurring negative thoughts and consciously reframe them on paper. Seeing it written out makes it real and helps rewire your thinking. Positive anchors. Create mental anchors that bring you back to calm. For example, a phrase like, "I am in control of my response," or a mental image of a peaceful place. Why calm patterns transform your life. When you consistently reframe and build calm mental habits, your life changes on every level. You stop overreacting to small things. You handle stress with more grace. You conserve energy that used to be wasted on frustration and use it for growth instead. And perhaps most importantly, you stop being controlled by the behavior of others. When people realize they can't provoke you, they lose their power over you. You become the calm center in a chaotic world, someone who inspires trust, respect, and admiration. The compound effect of calm thinking. One calm thought might seem small, but compounded over time, it becomes life-changing. Imagine reframing just 3 negative thoughts a day. In a year, that's over 1,000 reframed thoughts, 1,000 moments where you chose calm over chaos. That is how patterns are built. Not overnight, but through consistent, deliberate practice. Each reframing is a brick in the foundation of unshakable calm. Closing thought. Your thoughts create your world. By learning to reframe negativity and build calm patterns, you are literally rewiring your brain to live with greater peace, resilience, and strength. The world around you may not change, but the way you see it, and the way you respond, absolutely will. Calmness isn't found, it's built, thought by thought, moment by moment, until it becomes who you are. Chapter 3. Building emotional balance and responding to stress with calm. Life is full of stress. Work deadlines, financial pressures, unexpected challenges, and difficult people can all disrupt our inner peace. But here's the truth. Stress itself is not the enemy. Stress is simply the body and mind's natural response to demands. What determines whether stress destroys you or strengthens you is how you manage it. Emotional balance is the ability to stay steady and composed, even when the world around you feels unstable. It's the foundation that allows you to respond to stress with calm, rather than collapse under it. In this chapter, we will explore how to build emotional balance step by step, and how to train yourself to handle stress in ways that keep you centered, strong, and unshaken. Why stress feels overwhelming. Stress becomes overwhelming not because of the events themselves, but because of the meanings and emotions we attach to them. When you interpret stress as danger, your body floods with tension, your thoughts spiral, and your calm evaporates. But when you interpret stress as a challenge, as an opportunity to grow stronger, your response changes completely. This is why 2 people can face the same pressure: a tough boss, an unexpected bill, a long line of problems, and one person crumbles while the other remains composed. The difference lies in their emotional balance. Regulation, the ability to calm yourself down and return to clarity. Resilience, the ability to keep moving forward, even under pressure. Let's break each down into actionable steps. Awareness, noticing before reacting. Most people don't realize how much stress controls them because they don't stop to notice it. They go straight from event to reaction. Someone criticizes them, and they snap back. A problem arises, and they panic. Awareness means creating space between what happens and how you respond. It's asking, what am I feeling right now? Where is this stress showing up in my body? What thoughts are fueling it? Practical ways to develop awareness. Body check-ins. Several times a day, pause and notice where you're holding tension, your jaw, shoulders, stomach. Simply noticing helps release it. Label the feeling. Say to yourself, this is frustration, this is worry. Naming the emotion takes away its mystery and gives you control over it. Mindful pauses. Before reacting, take one slow breath. That pause often prevents impulsive decisions that fuel more stress. Regulation. Training your calm response. Once you're aware of stress, the next step is regulation. This is where you intentionally bring yourself back to calm. Here are practical tools for regulating stress. Breath control. Stress makes your breathing shallow and rapid. Slow it down. Try inhaling for 4 counts, holding for 4, and exhaling for 6. Longer exhales signal safety to your nervous system. Grounding exercises. Focus on your senses. Notice 5 things you can see, 4 you can touch, 3 you can hear, 2 you can smell, and 1 you can taste. This anchors you in the present. Mental reset phrases. Use calm mantras, like this will pass, or I choose clarity over chaos. Repeat them until your mind shifts. With practice, these techniques become automatic. Stress no longer hijacks your body and mind. You train yourself to return to balance quickly. They're free. Resilience. Moving forward, despite pressure. True emotional balance isn't about avoiding stress. It's about carrying stress without breaking. This requires resilience, the mental toughness to endure challenges without losing your composure. Small wins under stress. Break overwhelming tasks into smaller steps. Each step completed proves to your mind that you can handle the pressure. Acceptance over resistance. Resisting stress only magnifies. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means acknowledging reality and focusing on what you can control. Make a list of priorities. Tackle one task at a time, and remind yourself that clarity comes from calm, not chaos. In conflict, when someone criticizes you unfairly, your instinct may be to argue. Instead, breathe, listen fully, and respond calmly. Often, silence or measured words carry more power than anger. In crisis, when unexpected problems arise, like a car breaking down or an emergency bill, focus on immediate next steps, not the entire mounting. Calmness helps you act effectively. The long-term benefits of emotional balance. When you consistently practice awareness, regulation, and resilience, something profound happens. Stress stops owning you. Challenges become manageable. Crises become opportunities to grow, and even in chaos, you feel steady. People around you will notice. They'll come to you for guidance, because you radiate calm in situations where others lose control. More importantly, you'll notice, you'll feel lighter, clearer, and more in control of your life. Daily practices to strengthen balance. Morning centering. Begin each day with 2 minutes of deep breathing and setting an intention. I will remain calm under pressure today. There. Midday reset. During stressful days, step away for 5 minutes. Stretch, breathe or walk. Resetting halfway through prevents burnout. Evening reflection. Ask yourself, where did I lose balance today? How did I return to calm? These reflections reinforce progress. Life will always present challenges, but you don't have to be at the mercy of it all. By cultivating emotional balance, you create an inner stability that no outside force can shake. Calm becomes your default, not because life is easy, but because you've trained your mind to stay steady no matter what. That is true mastery, the ability to face stress with clarity, strength, and unshakable composure. Chapter 4. Building resilience and strengthening self-trust. Life is not a straight path. It twists, it turns, and it throws obstacles your way when you least expect them. Resilience is what allows you to keep moving forward no matter what. But resilience is not just about bouncing back from setbacks. It's about bouncing forward. It's about becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable after challenges than you were before them. Resilience is the muscle that carries you through storms, and just like any muscle, it grows only through use. The more you face challenges with determination, the more unshakable you become. Alongside resilience lies something equally important: self-trust. Without self-trust, resilience collapses. If you don't believe in your ability to handle difficulties, every problem feels like proof that you're not capable enough. But when you trust yourself deeply, trust your judgment, your strength, and your ability to figure things out, resilience becomes natural. You no longer fear challenges because you know you can handle them. This chapter is about building both resilience and self-trust, so that no matter what life throws at you, you remain steady, confident, and unstoppable. What resilience really means: resilience is not about pretending you're unaffected by pain. It's not about denying fear, stress, or disappointment. Real resilience acknowledges difficulty, but refuses to let it define you. Think of a tree in a storm. A weak tree snaps under pressure. A resilient tree bends, but its roots hold firm. It weathers the storm, and once the winds pass, it still stands tall. That's resilience. It doesn't mean you never bend. It means you never break. Why self-trust fuels resilience? Every time you face adversity, your mind asks, "Can I handle this?" If your answer is no, you collapse under the weight of fear. If your answer is yes, you rise with calm determination. That answer, yes or no, is shaped by how much you trust yourself. Self-trust comes from keeping your promises to yourself. When you commit to something and follow through, you prove to your mind that you can rely on you. Self-trust doesn't mean you never fail. It means you trust yourself to recover and adjust when you do. With self-trust, resilience becomes natural. Here are actionable ways to strengthen your ability to bounce forward. Reframe adversity as training. Stop seeing obstacles as punishments and start seeing them as training sessions for your growth. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How is this shaping me? Create a reset ritual. When stress hits, instead of spiraling, have a ritual that grounds you: deep breathing, journaling, or stepping outside. This resets your nervous system and restores clarity. Focus on the next step, not the whole mountain. Overwhelm comes from trying to climb the entire mountain at once. Resilience is built one step at a time. Ask, what's the smallest next step I can take right now? Strengthen your support systems. Resilient people know they don't have to do everything alone. Build a circle of people, even a small one, who encourage and challenge you. To lock it in place, you need unshakable self-trust. Here's how to build it. Keep small promises. Don't start with huge commitments. Start with small daily promises, like waking up on time, drinking enough water, or finishing a short task. Each promise kept is a brick laid in the foundation of self-trust. Speak to yourself like an ally. Many people destroy self-trust with constant self-criticism. Resilient people encourage themselves the way they would a friend. You've handled worse before. You can do this too. Review past victories. When doubt creeps in, recall moments you've already overcome difficulties. Write them down. Read them when you feel shaken. Your past victories are proof of your strength. Practice self-reliance. Start solving small problems without immediately running to others for help. Each time you figure things out on your own, you reinforce the belief that you can handle more than you think. Resilience in real life. Let's put this into scenarios. Career challenges. When you don't get the promotion you expected, instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough," resilience reframes it. "This is feedback. I'll use it to sharpen my skills and become undeniable next time." Daily stresses. From traffic jams to unexpected bills, Resilience says, I can't control everything, but I can control how I respond. Daily practices for resilience and self-trust. Morning affirmation. Start each day with, no matter what comes today, I trust myself to handle it. Over time, this builds undeniable evidence of your resilience. Resilience habits. Take cold showers, exercise when you don't feel like it, or push through discomfort in small ways. Training your body to handle discomfort trains your mind to handle stress. Micro promises. Make and keep tiny promises daily. Over time, these create a deep well of self-trust that cannot be shaken. You stop doubting your capacity. You walk through the world with quiet confidence, knowing that even if storms come, you won't crumble, you'll grow. This doesn't mean you'll never feel stress, pain or fear again, but it means you'll carry those feelings differently. Instead of letting them weaken you, you'll use them as fuel. Instead of collapsing under pressure, you'll rise through it. Closing thought. Resilience without self-trust is fragile. Self-trust without resilience is incomplete. Together they make you unstoppable. When you trust yourself deeply and train yourself to rise from every fall, nothing can break you. You don't just survive life's storms, you thrive because of them. And with each challenge you face, your roots grow deeper, your foundation grows stronger, and your confidence grows unshakable. That is true emotional mastery. That is the power of resilience and self-trust. Chapter 5. Mastering calm under external pressure and emotional triggers. No matter how resilient, disciplined or self-aware you become, life will still test you. You will still face external pressures, deadlines that seem impossible, people who push your buttons, unexpected chaos, or the weight of responsibilities. These external forces can easily trigger emotional reactions, anger, frustration, anxiety, or even fear. But here's the truth. Calm is not the absence of pressure. Calm is the mastery of it. Real calm is forged in the fire of pressure, when you learn to carry yourself with control even as the world spins around you. The most powerful individuals in history, leaders, innovators, warriors of discipline, were not people who lived in comfort. They were people who maintained clarity, composure, and decision-making power under intense pressure. That is what made them effective. This chapter is about developing that same mastery, learning how to remain calm, centered and effective even when everything around you tries to push you off balance. When you face external pressure, your body interprets it as a threat. Deadlines, criticism, arguments, or chaos trigger the same stress response as danger in the wild. Your body floods with adrenaline and cortisol, your heart rate spikes, and your focus narrows to survival mode. That survival response was useful for our ancestors when escaping predators, but today it often works against us. Instead of clarity, it gives us reactivity. Instead of solutions, it gives us impulsive actions. To master calm, you must retrain your nervous system. You must learn to pause, to breathe, and to respond instead of react. The difference between reacting and responding. Reactions are automatic. They happen when you let emotions control you. Someone insults you, and you snap back. A stressful situation arises, and you panic. Responses, however, are deliberate. They happen when you pause, assess, and choose your action with clarity. Someone insults you, and instead of giving away your power, you remain unshaken. A problem arises, and you calmly search for solutions instead of spiraling in fear. Mastery lies in shifting from reaction to response. That shift requires awareness, practice, and control. Practical tools to master calm under pressure. Train yourself instead to pause. Just 3 deep breaths can reset your nervous system, reduce adrenaline, and restore clarity. Reframe pressure as growth. Instead of seeing external pressure as an attack, see it as training. Every stressful moment is a chance to strengthen your inner calm. Ask yourself, what skill is this pressure teaching me right now? Anchor with physical cues. Calm is not just mental, it's physical. Develop grounding rituals, unclenching your jaw, lowering your shoulders, placing your hand on your chest, or focusing on your breath. These physical anchors tell your body, I am safe, I am in control. Detach from emotional triggers. When someone tries to provoke you, remember this. Their words or actions are about them, not emotional triggers lose their power when you realize they cannot define you without your permission. Often the answer shrinks the stress instantly. The inner dialogue of calm. When pressure rises, your inner dialogue either fuels chaos or restores control. Many people unconsciously tell themselves, "This is too much. I can't handle this. I'm losing control." That language magnifies stress. Over time, this reprograms your nervous system to remain calm under fire. That composure inspires trust and loyalty. In relationships, instead of escalating arguments with anger, a calm person listens, acknowledges feelings, and responds with respect. This not only diffuses tension, but builds deeper trust. In personal growth, a student preparing for exams may feel overwhelmed by pressure. The untrained mind spirals into anxiety. But with calm mastery, the student grounds themselves, breaks tasks into steps, and proceeds with clarity. Exercises to build calm under pressure. Pressure simulation training. Intentionally place yourself in small, uncomfortable situations, like cold showers, public speaking practice, or timed challenges. These train your nervous system to handle stress calmly. Breathing techniques. Practice box breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Hold for 4. This technique restores balance in moments of panic. Trigger awareness journal. Write down what situations or people tend to trigger you emotionally. Awareness is the first step to breaking automatic reaction. The power of not being easily moved. When you master calm under pressure, something powerful happens. People notice. The world respects those who remain steady when others crumble. Calmness becomes a form of power. You become the person others turn to when situations grow chaotic. You become the one people trust, because they know you won't collapse under stress. And more importantly, you gain unshakable confidence in yourself, because you've proven that no external force can control your inner state. Emotional triggers will always exist, but you have a choice: to let them dictate your behavior, or to rise above them with calm mastery. When you master calm, you are no longer a victim of the world's chaos. You become the anchor in the storm. You respond instead of react. You lead instead of follow. And the more you practice this calm, the more unstoppable you become, because nothing outside of you has the power to control what lives within you. Chapter 6. Mastering Self-Control and Delayed Gratification. If calm under pressure is about holding steady in the storm, then self-control and delayed gratification are about steering your ship toward a destination, even when distractions and temptations try to pull you off course. At its core, self-control is the ability to say no to what feels good now, in order to say yes to what is best later. Delayed gratification is the discipline of waiting, sacrificing immediate comfort in pursuit of long-term reward. Together, these qualities form the backbone of every life built on lasting success, peace, and transformation. Without self-control, anger erupts unchecked, habits remain weak, and progress is always sabotaged. Without delayed gratification, opportunities are missed because the mind is too focused on the pleasure of the present moment. But when these qualities are mastered, life changes. Suddenly you are not a slave to impulses but the commander of your future. The battle between impulse and intention. Every day you face 1,000 choices. Do you scroll endlessly or focus on your goals? Do you lash out when provoked or remain calm? Do you eat what satisfies now or choose what nourishes long-term health? Impulse demands satisfaction now. Intention asks for discipline now so the future can be better. Those who give in to impulse live reactive lives, constantly putting out fires and chasing short-lived highs. Those who honor intention live proactive lives, building futures brick by brick through discipline, patience, and self-control. Your task is to recognize this battle in every decision, and to choose long-term strength over short-term comfort. The psychology of delayed gratification. Psychologists have long studied the power of delayed gratification. One of the most famous experiments, the Stanford marshmallow test, showed that children who resisted eating one marshmallow immediately in order to earn 2 marshmallows later grew up to have better self-control, greater academic success, and higher emotional resilience. The lesson is clear: those who can wait win. But delayed gratification isn't just about marshmallows or small choices. It's about rewiring your mind to understand that lasting fulfillment always outweighs temporary pleasure. Every act of self-control is a training session for your future success. Impulsive decisions are the loss of control. Calm, on the other hand, is the presence of control. It's the ability to sit with discomfort, to wait through the pressure, to choose your response with clarity instead of giving in to emotional or physical urges. That's why self-control and delayed gratification are not separate from emotional mastery. They are the foundation of it. Start by practicing in small areas. Resist the urge to check your phone every few minutes. Delay eating until mealtime, or choose water instead of soda. Each small victory strengthens your willpower. Use the 10-minute rule. When an impulse arises, whether it's to lash out, procrastinate, or indulge, wait 10 minutes before acting. Often the urge passes, and you regain control over the decision. Before giving in to an impulse, pause and ask, am I feeding my present comfort or my future success? Imagine the outcome months or years from now, and let that vision guide your choice. Set up your environment to make discipline easier. Remove distractions, set boundaries, and make impulsive actions harder to access. The more automatic your healthy choices become, the less space impulses have to control you. Each time you resist the urge to act impulsively, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your cravings, stronger than your triggers, stronger than the pull of instant gratification. Those who save, invest, and wait build freedom. The same principle applies to health, relationships, business, and mindset. When you master delayed gratification, you no longer need life to hand you instant results. You trust the process, you embrace patience, and that patience becomes one of your greatest advantages. Most people give up not because the reward isn't real, but because they can't stay calm in the gap between effort and outcome. This is where your training in calmness comes full circle. While others panic in the waiting, you practice stillness. While others get anxious at the slow pace of growth, you practice trust. While others react to the discomfort of delay, you remain steady, knowing that the reward belongs to those who endure. Exercises to build self-control and patience. Daily cold exposure. Taking cold showers or brief cold exposure teaches your mind to sit with discomfort instead of fleeing from it. This strengthens discipline for all areas of life. Mindful eating. Instead of eating quickly or impulsively, practice slowing down. Chew slowly, savor the flavor, and choose nourishing foods even when cravings arise. This not only builds financial discipline, but reinforces patience, the freedom of self-mastery. Here's the paradox. People think giving in to impulses is freedom, but real freedom is not doing whatever you feel like. Real freedom is not being controlled by what you feel like. When you master self-control and delayed gratification, you unlock the freedom to choose your path. You're no longer pulled by impulses, distractions, or the pressures of the moment. Instead, you move with intention, clarity, and discipline toward the life you want to build. That freedom, the ability to govern yourself fully, is one of the highest forms of power a human being can achieve. Every time you resist the temptation of the moment, you invest in the future you are creating. When you master these qualities, you carry calmness not as a fragile state, but as a way of life. You move forward not with impulse but with intention, and you discover the strength that comes from being fully in control of yourself, in every moment, no matter what the world throws at you. Chapter 7. Overcoming fear and self-doubt through thought control. Fear and self-doubt are the invisible chains that hold countless people back from living fully. They whisper lies, exaggerate hurts, and create prisons out of possibilities. Fear says, "What if you fail?" Self-doubt says, "You're not good enough." Left unchecked, these voices grow louder until they drown out courage and clarity. But here's the truth. Fear and self-doubt do not come from reality. They come from thoughts. And if thoughts create them, then thoughts can also dismantle them. This chapter is about mastering the battlefield of the mind. By learning to control your thoughts, you gain the ability to shrink fear, silence doubt, and step into a life led by strength rather than hesitation. The nature of fear and self-doubt. Fear is an emotional response to a perceived threat, often one that isn't even real. Self-doubt is the mental habit of underestimating your own ability. Together, they distort reality, magnify problems, and paralyze action. Notice something: fear and doubt always begin with a thought. When fear and doubt dominate thoughts, they lead to avoidance, procrastination, and missed opportunities. But if you train your mind to generate different thoughts, you can redirect the entire chain, changing how you feel, and ultimately how you act. The cycle of fear and thought. Think of fear like a loop. A thought triggers a worry. That worry sparks fear. Fear creates hesitation. Hesitation reinforces doubt. Doubt generates even more negative thoughts. The loop repeats, growing stronger each time. Breaking this cycle begins with intercepting the thought before it spirals into fear. If you can control the thought, you can rewrite the loop. Why thought control matters. Your mind is like a filter. Every experience in your life passes through it. If the filter is polluted with negative thinking, everything appears darker, scarier, and more hopeless than it really is. If the filter is trained toward calm, confidence, and possibility, you see opportunities where others see obstacles. Thought control is not about ignoring reality. It's about choosing how to interpret reality. It's about asking, do I want to feed fear, or do I want to feed courage? Identify the exact thought causing the fear. I might fail at this presentation. By naming it, you shrink its power. The unknown is terrifying. The defined is manageable. Counter with evidence. Self-doubt thrives on assumptions, not fact. Challenge your fearful thoughts with evidence. Have I succeeded before? Do I have skills? Is failure permanent? You'll often find that fear cannot stand against reality. Reframe the what if. Fear always asks, what if it goes wrong? Replace it with, what if it goes right? What if I succeed? What if this works out? This shift transforms fear, anticipation. Interrupt the loop with action. Overthinking strengthens fear. Action weakens it. When you take one step forward, however small, you disrupt the thought spiral and prove to yourself that you can move despite fear. Use calm breathing as a reset button. Fear speeds up the body, calm slows it down. When a fearful thought arises, practice deep, slow breathing. This grounds you in the present and interrupts the physiological response to fear, building a mental habit of confidence. Just as fear grows through repeated negative thoughts, confidence grows through repeated empowering thought. You can train your brain to default to self-belief by practicing daily mental habits. Affirmations with evidence. Instead of vague affirmations, anchor them in reality. I am capable because I've overcome challenges before. Visualization of success. Regularly picture yourself succeeding in specific scenarios. This conditions your mind to expect positive outcomes. Gratitude practice. Fear focuses on what you lack. Gratitude focuses on what you already have, shifting your mental state from scarcity to abundance. Over time, these habits strengthen your mental immune system against fear and doubt. The role of calmness in defeating fear. Calm is the opposite of fear. Fear is chaotic. Calm is steady. Fear is reactive. Calm is responsive. Fear magnifies problems. Calm sees them clearly. When you cultivate calmness through thought control, you are not erasing fear. You are preventing it from taking over. You acknowledge its presence but refuse to let it dictate your choices. This is power. To feel fear, yet remain unmoved. Exercises to overcome fear and self-doubt. Fear journaling. Write down every fearful or doubtful thought as it comes. Then challenge each one with logic, evidence, and a reframed perspective. Over time, you'll see patterns in your fears and weaken them. Exposure in small steps. Face fears incrementally. If public speaking terrifies you, start by speaking up in small groups. Gradually build exposure until fear shrinks. Success reminders. Create a list of past victories and review it whenever doubt strikes. This grounds you in proof of your capability, The so what technique. When a fearful thought arises, what if I fail? Respond with so what. This doesn't minimize effort. It reminds you that failure is survivable, and rarely as devastating as the mind imagines. Living beyond fear and doubt. Imagine a life where fear is no longer your decision maker. Imagine stepping forward boldly, even when the path is uncertain. Imagine trusting yourself, not because you know everything, but because you know you'll figure it out. That life is not reserved for the fearless. It is built by those who master their thoughts, by those who learn to pause, challenge, reframe and redirect, by those who practice calmness in the presence of fear. Fear may still knock on your door, but it no longer rules your house. Self-doubt may whisper, but it no longer silences your voice. You rise above, because you have trained your thoughts to serve you, not sabotage you. They are mental habits, and like all habits, they can be broken and replaced. When you master thought control, you step into the driver's seat of your own destiny. Instead of being ruled by what if, you begin to live in the certainty of I can. You discover that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward in spite of it. And in that decision lies transformation, calm over chaos, confidence over doubt, and strength over hesitation. Chapter 8. Detachment. Letting go, and keeping your inner calm unshaken. One of the greatest powers a human being can develop is the ability to remain unshaken by what they cannot corn. Detachment is not about apathy, it is not indifference, and it is not weakness. Detachment is strength, it is clarity. It is the conscious decision to stop giving away your peace of mind to every external disturbance. Most people live chained to outcomes. They feel happy only if things go their way. They feel frustrated if someone disagrees. They feel restless if the future seems uncertain. They cling to results, opinions and expectations as if these things determine their worth. But what happens when those results don't arrive, or those opinions turn against them? They collapse, because their calm was built on shifting sand. Detachment offers a different path. It is the inner declaration, I will do my best, but I will not let what I cannot control dictate my peace. The power of letting go. Imagine carrying a heavy stone everywhere you go. It slows you down, hurts your back, and drains your energy. Yet many people carry such invisible stones, grudges, regrets, worries, expectations. They cling to what could have been, what should have been, or what might be, and in doing so they exhaust themselves. Letting go is not losing. It is not giving up. It is freedom. To let go is to set yourself free from unnecessary burdens, so you can move forward lighter, calmer, and stronger. When you let go of the need to control others, you stop being agitated by their behavior. When you let go of past mistakes, you stop reliving pain. When you let go of future fears, you stop borrowing suffering that may never come. Detachment versus indifference. Let's be clear, detachment is not indifference. Indifference says, I don't care at all. Detachment says, I care deeply, but I refuse to be enslaved by what I cannot control. Think of a doctor treating a patient. The doctor cares, invests energy, and applies skill, but the doctor cannot control the outcome fully. If the patient doesn't heal, the doctor must detach, or else drown in guilt. Caring and detachment coexist. You give your best, but you release the results. The root of disturbance. Attachment to outcome. Why do people lose their calm? Because they tie their peace to outcomes. If this person likes me, I'll feel good. If life unfolds as I planned, I'll be calm. But outcomes are unpredictable. People change their minds. Circumstances shift. Plans collapse. If your peace depends on these fragile conditions, your peace will always be fragile. Detachment severs this dependency. Instead of saying, I will be calm if, you begin to say, I will remain calm, regardless. Practical tools for detachment. The circle of control exercise. Draw 2 circles. In the inner circle, write what you can control, your effort, your thoughts, your habits, your responses. In the outer circle, Write what you cannot control: other people's opinions, external events, outcomes. Train yourself to focus energy only on the inner circle. Release rituals: when a thought or burden clings to you, symbolically release it, write it down, and tear up the paper. Breathe deeply and imagine exhaling the worry. Physical rituals reinforce the mental decision to let go. Detach from praise and criticism. Both can enslave you. Praise can make you crave approval. Criticism can shatter your confidence. Practice receiving both with balance. Say internally, "This is one perspective, not my identity." Live in day-tight compartments. Don't let yesterday's mistakes or tomorrow's fears pollute today. Approach each day as a fresh, self-contained chapter. This reduces the mental load and strengthens presence. Keeping calm in chaos. True calm is tested not when things are easy but when storms rage. Detachment gives you an anchor in the storm. You may not control the wind, but you control your sail. When chaos arises, ask, "Is this within my control?" Detach. Release whatever is not. This practice builds resilience. Instead of being tossed around by every wave, you learn to float above them. Detachment in relationships. Much of our inner turmoil comes from clinging to how we want others to act. We expect them to behave, think, or love us in specific ways. When they don't, we feel hurt. Detachment in relationships does not mean withdrawing love. It means loving without possession. It means supporting without trying to control. It means recognizing that other people's choices are not a reflection of your worth. Her peace is not tied to winning or losing, but to knowing she showed up fully. That the entrepreneur, he launches his business with passion, he works diligently, but detaches from whether every customer says yes. His calm allows him to persevere despite setback. The parent, they guide and nurture their children with love, but detach from controlling every outcome. They accept that their children must walk their own path. External events no longer dictate your inner world. Someone can criticize you, and you remain composed. A plan can collapse, and you remain steady. This calm is not coldness, it is maturity. It is the strength to remain rooted while the winds of life blow in every direction. Daily practices for detachment and calm. Detach. Morning centering. Begin each day with a grounding practice, meditation, journaling, or simply breathing in silence, to anchor your mind before external noise arrives. Mindful reminders. Throughout the day, remind yourself, not mine to control, let it go. Evening. Release. At night, mentally review the day. Acknowledge what went well, what didn't, and then release both. Carry nothing heavy into tomorrow. Closing thought. Detachment is not a rejection of life, it is the deepest embrace of it. By letting go of control, you free yourself to live with clarity, courage, and calm. You stop being a slave to outcomes, opinions, and uncertainty. The world does not change when you detach, but your relationship to it does, and that changes everything. When you master detachment, you become untouchable, not in the sense that nothing affects you, but in the sense that nothing can disturb your inner calm. You live light, you live freer, you live unshaken. Chapter 9. Creating unstoppable momentum through consistency and inner discipline. Momentum is one of the most underestimated forces in personal transformation. Once you build it, it carries you forward with far less resistance than when you began. Momentum is what allows ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results, not through bursts of intensity, but through consistent, disciplined action that compounds over time. Think about it. A train starting from a standstill takes enormous energy to move even an inch. But once that train is at full speed, almost nothing can stop it. Your mind, your habits, your calmness, and your success operate under the same principle. If you keep stopping and starting, you will waste your energy on restarts. But if you commit to consistency, if you harness discipline to keep moving, you will reach a point where progress becomes unstoppable. Why consistency matters more than intensity. Many people believe success comes from occasional dramatic effort, the all-nighter, the once-in-a-while burst of discipline, or the rare moment of willpower. But lasting transformation does not come from intensity, it comes from consistency. Anyone can stay calm for a day, Anyone can be disciplined for a week, but who can live calm, controlled, disciplined and focused every single day, year after year? That is the true measure of transformation. Consistency creates trust in yourself. It tells your mind, I can rely on me. And when you know you can rely on yourself, fear and self-doubt lose their power. The role of inner discipline. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is alignment. It is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It is the choice to act not based on your moods, but on your principles. Without discipline, consistency is impossible. Without consistency, momentum cannot exist. Together, discipline and consistency create the compounding force that transforms your life. The power of small, repeated actions. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Momentum is not built through giant leaps. It's built through small, repeated steps that add up over time. 5 minutes of meditation daily creates more lasting calm than 1 hour once a month. Reading a few pages every morning creates more wisdom than one book binge once a year. Small actions done consistently form unstoppable momentum, breaking the start-stop cycle. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they start and stop too often. They meditate for 3 days, then quit. They exercise for a week, then give up. They stay calm for one conversation, then explode the next. Momentum requires breaking this cycle. You must commit to a longer horizon. This is where discipline comes in. Doing the right thing even when you don't feel like it. Consistency is born in those moments when your emotions argue against your principles, but you act according to your principles anyway. Practical steps to build unstoppable momentum. Choose your keystone habit. A keystone habit is a practice that influences every other area of your life. For calmness, it may be daily meditation, journaling, or breathing exercises. Commit to one keystone habit and let it anchor your day. Track your consistency. What gets measured improves. Use a journal, calendar, or app to track your streaks. Seeing progress builds motivation and reinforces your identity as someone who follows through. Lower the barrier to entry. Make it easy to start. If your goal is 20 minutes of meditation, tell yourself you only need 2 minutes. Once you begin, momentum will carry you further. The key is to show up every day. Stack habits together. Attach new habits to existing routine. For example, after brushing your teeth, you practice 2 minutes of gratitude. This creates a natural rhythm and eliminates the need for willpower. Discipline over motivation. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is reliable. When you stop relying on feeling like it and instead rely on discipline, you free yourself from the roller coaster of moods. Small deposits of effort made daily grow into an immense fortune of results. Missing a day may seem harmless, but every missed day slows momentum, and every consistent day accelerates it. If you choose consistency, momentum becomes inevitable. Calm as a product of discipline. Inner calm is not built in a single moment of meditation. It is built through disciplined practice. Every time you choose not to react, you strengthen your calmness. Every time you delay gratification, you strengthen your self-control. Every time you stick to your principles despite pressure, you reinforce your inner peace. Calm is not a trait you either have or don't have. It is a skill, and like any skill, it is strengthened through consistent, disciplined practice. Turning discipline into identity. To make consistency and discipline unstoppable, they must become part of your identity. Don't just say, I will meditate daily. Say, I am the kind of person who meditates daily. When discipline is who you are, not just what you do, momentum never stops. You don't debate with yourself. You don't negotiate. You simply live out your identity. But through daily discipline, the runner builds stamina. Soon, running 10 miles feels natural. Momentum carries him where motivation never could. The writer. Writing 1 page a day may seem small, but after a year, that's 365 pages. A book. The momentum of daily writing transforms effort into achievement. The calm individual. She practices breathing daily, disciplines her mind against reactivity, and over time she becomes unshakable. Her calm is not an act, it is her nature. Staying calm in the long game. Consistency and discipline are not glamorous. They are often quiet, invisible, and uncelebrated, but they are the real source of transformation. It will be built in the 1,000 small moments, when you choose discipline over impulse, consistency over excuses, calm over reaction, and once momentum is built, it becomes nearly impossible to stop. The calm, unshakable life you desire is not created by bursts of effort. It is created by daily choices, disciplined actions, and steady persistence. Build momentum, and momentum will carry you. And when you live with unstoppable momentum, you no longer have to fight to stay calm. Calm becomes your natural state. Chapter 10. Living a fully transformed life through lifelong calm mastery and unshakable peace. There comes a moment in every inner journey when the goal is no longer simply to control your emotions, was a situation, or to calm your mind for a season. The goal becomes something greater, a way of living, a way of being, a way of carrying yourself in the world that is unshakable, no matter the storm. This is lifelong calm mastery. This is the unshakable peace that transforms not only you but everyone you encounter. Up until now, we have explored the practices, disciplines, and mindsets required to build calm in the face of triggers, challenges, and pressures. But true mastery is when calmness is no longer just a technique. It is your identity. It is when you no longer try to stay calm. You simply are calm. You have become the embodiment of peace. Darken. From reaction to presence. Most people live as reactors. They bounce from situation to situation, carried by moods, emotions, and external forces. But lifelong calm mastery shifts you from being a reactor to being a presence. Instead of responding based on the chaos around you, you radiate peace that influences your environment. When you walk into a tense room and remain calm, the atmosphere changes. When others expect you to react with anger or fear, and instead you whirm with steady composure, you alter the dynamics entirely. Calm becomes your presence, not your reaction. Free from being a slave to other people's opinions, moods, or behaviors. Free from being controlled by your impulses. Free from being trapped in cycles of anger, frustration, or worry. Emotional independence is one of the highest forms of freedom a person can achieve. You no longer hand over your peace to circumstances or people. You carry it within you, unshaken, wherever you go. It is power over yourself, power over your choices, and power in how you influence the world. The angry man may shout louder, but the calm man has control. The anxious person may act quicker, but the calm person acts wise. Power without calmness is dangerous. Calmness without power is incomplete. But when you combine power with calmness, you become unstoppable, integrating calm into every area of life. Lifelong calm mastery is not meant to be applied in one corner of your life. It must touch every part of who you are. In relationships, you respond with patience and presence instead of reactivity. This builds trust, love, and deeper connection. In work, you handle challenges with focus and clarity, becoming the anchor others rely on in moments of chaos. In health, calm reduces stress, strengthens your body, and allows you to make better decisions about your well-being. When calmness is integrated into all areas, your entire life begins to reflect peace and stability. The practices of lifelong mastery. While calmness eventually becomes part of your identity, mastery is maintained through practice. Just as a strong body requires ongoing exercise, a calm mind requires ongoing discipline. Daily centering. Begin each day with stillness, meditation, journaling, or deep breathing. Anchor your mind before the world demands your attention. Micro calm moments. Use every trigger as an opportunity. Pause before responding. Breathe before speaking. Reset before reacting. Gratitude and perspective. Shift your focus from what's wrong to what's right. Gratitude transforms irritation into appreciation. Detach from noise. Limit unnecessary negativity, whether it's toxic people, endless news, or draining environments. Protect your peace. Lifelong learning. Continue to study and refine your inner world. Growth never ends, and mastery deepens with practice. These practices ensure that calmness is not just maintained, but strengthened over the years. Children model it, partners respect it, colleagues admire it, and even strangers feel it. Your calm presence becomes a gift to the world. Think about the ripple. One person who chooses calm over anger, presence over panic, peace over reaction, influences dozens of others. Those people influence dozens more. Your calmness is not just personal mastery, it is world-changing. Challenges will still come. It is important to understand that lifelong calm mastery does not mean life becomes easy. Challenges, losses, failures, and conflicts will still arise, but you will meet them differently. You will not break under pressure. You will not lose yourself to anger, fear, or anxiety. Instead, you will remain steady, clear, and focused. And that is where your power lies. The storms don't stop. You simply learn how to remain the stillness in the middle of them. The calmness you have built is not fragile. It is resilient. It has been forged through discipline, consistency, and choosing peace when reactivity was easier. You are no longer someone trying to be calm. You are calm. You are no longer someone practicing composure occasionally. You are composure. Calmness has become your identity, your strength, and your way of life. A transformed life. When calmness becomes your nature, life transforms. Stress does not overwhelm you. Pressure does not control you. Negative people do not rob you of peace. Fear does not stop you. You walk through life steady, grounded, and free. And in that state, you can achieve more, connect deeper, and live fuller than ever before. This is the gift of lifelong calm mastery. It is not only about managing emotions, it is about living a life of power, freedom, and peace. But more than that, you have the ability to live as someone who is unshakable, unbothered, and deeply at peace. No matter what happens, calmness is your foundation, peace is your identity, and from this place there is nothing you cannot face, nothing you cannot overcome, and nothing that can disturb the life you are building. Choose calm, live calm, be calm, for this is the path to true mastery, and the mark of a fully transformed life. If this message spoke to you, if it gave you the tools and the fire to master your calm, then don't just keep it to yourself. Spread it. Smash that like button to let us know this audiobook empowered you. Hit subscribe so you never miss another life-changing audiobook right here on ReadFlow. And most importantly, share this with a friend, a colleague, or anyone who needs the power of calm in their life. Every day is another chance to practice calm, to stay unbothered, and to step into your strongest, most unshakable self. This is ReadFlow Audiobooks. Thank you for listening. Thank you for growing. And until next time, stay calm, stay powerful, and keep flowing forward.